Hello, I'm professional attorney and very much amateur musician Scott Lesowitz, and in this video I will be discussing the allegations against social media guitarist Giacomo Turra, who allegedly ripped off lesser-known guitarists by essentially recreating their original guitar pieces, guitar solos, and posting them without giving them, adequate credit or paying them. So I'll be talking about three things in this video. First, I'll discuss my thought on the question of appropriate consequences for Giacomo for his alleged behavior. And second, I'll discuss the question of attribution. And then the third is I'll talk about how his videos can never possibly be protected as cover versions of the songs that he's copying, allegedly copying. Obviously, I'm not condoning or encouraging any bad conduct by anyone on the internet. Nobody should do anything stupid, indecent, threatening, or illegal. But that said, as an attorney, I think that a very important thing in this matter is, and with the scandal, is that there is a strong message of deterrence given to anybody else who might think about doing this. You don't want any good-looking guy who can play guitar to feel like he has huge potential upside in using editing tricks and posting ripoffs of other people's work to build a successful social media following, but limited downside if he gets caught. While US civil copyright law is not designed to punish, like actively punish copyright infringers, for instance, there's no provision in the Copyright Act for punitive damages, there still is a goal in the Copyright Act and under the copyright law to deter future potential infringers. And a case that followed that line of thinking was a federal trial court in New York that awarded statutory damages in an amount roughly 3 times the amount of the defendant's profits, plus reasonable attorney's fees, because the court did not want to send a message to infringers that, quote, the only penalty for getting caught is surrendering profits, which would turn copyright infringement into a low risk proposition, end quote. Really, what we want to have happen here is an ideal world would be that Giacomo loses all of the alleged gain he earned from this alleged wrongful conduct. It's important to remember that even if he, let's say, has to pay some of monies out and he loses his sponsorships, that still means he's going to come out ahead. If he doesn't wind up basically having to start over, one issue I talked about in another video, earlier video I made about this, is that it's unlikely he's going to face a flood of lawsuits. He likely will face no lawsuits. Since there isn't a realistic threat of lawsuits, it leaves one potential other avenue where the consequences could be severe, and that is copyright strikes. So if three of the alleged victims can meritoriously submit DMCA copyright infringement notices and demand the removal of their videos, then YouTube is likely going to pull Giacomo's channel, and that would be a big deterrent. On Instagram, they also, people can submit DMCA takedowns there, assuming they have a meritorious ability to do so. And there, again, they don't have, I believe, the explicit three strikes policy, but if somebody gets enough DMCA notices for their content, Instagram also could eventually pull down their what do you call it, Instagram, their feed or their their page. So for the last two topics, which I'll cover now, that is again the issue of Giacomo allegedly not giving prominent attribution to the people's works that he was, let's say, appropriating, and also this issue of whether somehow this is permitted as covers. Even if he had given proper attribution, without the permission of the people's works that he was, appropriating, let's say, allegedly copying, then it's still copyright infringement. Unless there's fair use, you cannot copy someone else's work and then give them attribution, but not get permission and not pay the person. And as for whether these are somehow protected as cover songs, no. One reason, and it's the more technical reason, is that yes, while if traditionally cover songs that are audio only, so like a cover song that is, uploaded, say, to Spotify or released on a record in a purely audio format, yes, one could obtain a compulsory license and cover someone's song without permission. However, these are videos, and so for videos, there's no such thing as a compulsory license. One needs permission to cover someone's song in a video. An audiovisual work does not qualify for the compulsory license. And the other thing is that even when a compulsory license is available, one of the steps, one of the requirements for the compulsory license is paying the licensing fees. And allegedly, the people whose work Giacomo stole did not even were not being paid, and they didn't even know, a lot of them, that he had, let's say, covered their work. All right, with that, thank you very much for watching, and take care.